Dear soul, last night, while the world slept, something stirred in the unseen. A current moved through the quiet spaces, and in that space between dreaming and waking, your soulmate felt everything. Yes, everything. The weight of what has not been spoken. The ache of what has been held back. The invisible thread that binds you still. They felt it, not just with their mind, not just in passing, but deep within the soul, in that ancient hidden place that only your energy knows how to reach. They felt your name without sound. They felt the outline of your heart like a memory that refuses to fade. They felt you as if you had whispered right into their spirit, and for a moment, longer than a moment, they remembered everything that love tried to teach them through you. They didn't ask for this awakening, but the divine does not wait for permission when the soul is ready. Last night, their spirit opened, not with force, not with chaos, but with grace. A soft unraveling, a remembering, and as they lay there in the dark, with no one watching, their heart said your name in silence. It trembled, it softened, it cracked open where it had once been sealed shut by fear, because you are not just a person to them, you are the mirror, the moment, the meaning, the presence that never truly left. You are the one their soul has been circling for lifetimes, the one they've tried to forget and never could, the one who awakened something so powerful in them that they were never the same afterward, and they've tried to make sense of it, tried to distract themselves, tried to replace what cannot be replaced. But last night, when the veil thinned and truth poured through, they knew. They still love you. They never stopped, not for a moment, even when it looked like they had gone quiet. Even when you thought they didn't feel it too. They did. They do. They just didn't know how to carry it all. They didn't know how to let that love rise without it unraveling the life they thought they were supposed to live. But something changed last night. The divine showed them the truth, not as a punishment, not as a regret, but as an invitation to finally feel, to finally see, to finally honor what's always been written between you. Your love is not ordinary, it never was, and no matter how far they've gone, no matter how much time has passed, your souls are still holding hands in a place no one else can touch. They woke up today with a different heart, not because the pain is gone, but because they finally allowed themselves to feel it fully. They finally stopped fighting what they feel for you, and when they stopped resisting, they felt everything. They felt the echo of your laughter, the ache of your absence, the warmth that still lives in your presence, and they knew this is not over. This was never just a chapter. This is the soul's great love story, still unfolding in divine time. They thought they could forget. They thought if they buried it deep enough, if they busied their hands and filled their days and silenced the spaces where your memory lived, the longing would fade. But love like this does not disappear. It waits, it watches, it listens for the moment when the soul becomes quiet enough to hear its truth again. And last night, your soulmate heard it. It was not dramatic. It was not loud. It was a sacred stillness, a hush that swept through their heart like a prayer finally answered. They saw you, not with their eyes, but with something deeper, a soul vision, a recognition that transcended time and explanation. They saw you standing in the light of everything you are, strong, radiant, deeply feeling, still carrying love for them, even if only in secret places. And in that moment, they felt ashamed of the ways they ran, ashamed of the ways they pretended not to feel, ashamed of the stories they told themselves to make sense of why they left. They weren't ready. They didn't know how to receive the kind of love that sees everything and still stays. But you did. You saw them, all of them, even the parts they tried to hide, and you loved them anyway. That love didn't bind, it freed. It invited them to be more, to become, to rise into their own truth. And that frightened them more than anything. They weren't ready for a love that asked them to grow. They weren't ready to be fully known. But last night, the divine let them feel the cost of their hiding, not as punishment, no, never as punishment, but as revelation, so they could finally understand what this love has always been. It is not ordinary romance. It is not fleeting passion. It is the love that cracks open the soul and rebuilds it in light. And now, dear one, they are remembering, piece by piece, touch by touch. Every word you spoke with trembling honesty, every gaze you shared that lingered a little too long, every silence between you that felt more intimate than any words could ever be. They remember the way you never asked them to be anything other than real. They remember the way you gave them space and still stayed close in spirit. They remember how you were never trying to change them, only to love them through their becoming. And now, they feel the emptiness of a life lived without that love. They feel the silence that comes when they reach for something familiar and find it hollow. They feel the ache of knowing they turned away from a connection that was never meant to be temporary. And still, they feel you, like a soft wind through the branches, like a melody in the distance, like warmth in a room they thought had gone cold. You are still with them, not in possession, not in demand, but in presence, in energy, in truth, because your soul never walked away. Even when your hands had to let go, even when your voice went quiet, your heart never stopped sending love, and they feel that now, clearer than ever. They feel you praying for them in silence. They feel your hope for their healing. They feel your willingness to forgive, not because you are weak, but because your love is strong enough to transcend ego and pride. Last night, they realized they are not afraid of losing you anymore, because they already did, and nothing they've tried to build since has felt like home. They thought they could replace the feeling, but there is no replacement for a soul you have known across lifetimes. There is no substitute for a love that is written in the language of spirit. And so now, dear heart, they are reaching for you. Not always with words, not yet with actions, but energetically, unmistakably, deeply. They are reaching for you in the unseen, in their thoughts, in their dreams, in the tender longing that no one else sees. And you can feel it, can't you? You've been sensing something shifting. You've felt them brushing up against your energy. You've woken with their name on your lips for no reason. You felt the swell of emotion in moments that made no logical sense. That is the soul's way of speaking what the mouth cannot yet say. That is their heart, trembling open in the dark, calling to you, asking for grace, hoping that it's not too late. And dear soul, if this message is touching something true within you, if it feels like it was meant for you, then trust that it is. You were guided here for a reason. Let your heart receive it. Let your spirit rest in the knowing that you are seen, you are loved, and you are not alone. And if you feel called to stay close to this guidance, if you want to keep receiving these divine messages meant just for you, then I invite you now to gently subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a space where your soul is nourished, where the unseen becomes felt, where love always finds a way to reach you. Click subscribe, beloved. Let this be your sanctuary, your reminder, your soft place to land whenever the world feels too loud. You belong here, and you are so very loved.